Hello, welcome to our US CPI live. We're just dialing in with what's happening on with the CPI numbers in the US. I've got my red box live data feed behind me. US CPI year-on-year September actual 1.7% versus an estimate of 1.8%, so a little bit softer than had been expected. Month on month was flat versus estimates of 0.1% on the upside. So the CPI just missing somewhat. We've also got jobless claims numbers here from the US at the same time. Initial jobless claims actual 210,000 versus an estimate of 220,000. Here we are in the core CPI. This is the number that we're really interested in. US core CPI month on month actual 0.1% versus estimates 0.2. So year on year though, the year on year figure is really what we're interested in, and that stayed at 2.4%, which was that high that had been hit the month before. It had been steadily rising up on that 2% handle, hitting 2.4%, which barring a slight adjustment in the last year, a year ago, was basically the highest that we've had it since the crisis. So this has been a very important trend that we've seen, the core inflation rising at a level above the 2% target for the Fed, and it does have an impact on what the Fed's doing. The minutes last night from the Fed suggested that they really weren't that worried about inflation. I think that's maybe a mistake, but nonetheless they are saying that while some members saw that the inflation figures did back up their initial thoughts at the start of the year that weak inflation was transitory, really what they were worried about from the minutes, at least what we read from the minutes, was that they're worried about importing inflation from Japan and Europe. So that core CPI number at 2.4%, and the market reaction, well, we could see on euro dollar hitting the 110.30 handle now, so it's just spiked to 110.3. It had broken out. We flagged this. We've been flagging that move. Sort of, it kept tapping on 110, and then on that trend, when we saw the declining trend line here on euro dollar, anything that broke out from that trend line could potentially spark a move to 110, and it did this morning, and it's broken out at 110.30 now. Just trying to hold that region. We'll be looking for that region to hold. Hopefully, if you're a bull, then you're looking at 110.70, the highs from around the middle of September, before you can think about an 11 handle again. But that CPI number, I think fundamentally is not going to move the market that much now. I think it doesn't suggest that inflation is running away. I don't think that's the problem. It's just that it does indicate that inflation is actually at an okay level, and at least from an inflationary point of view, the Fed doesn't really need to be cutting rates or hiking them for that matter, but certainly not cutting them. And it just re-emphasises the fact that the Fed is cutting for different reasons, because of softer PMI numbers, softer survey data, and a slowdown in the trend growth of GDP. So euro dollar at 110.26 now, so just come off that high. But the CPI numbers all round, just a slight miss, but core number on target. And we're now looking ahead to the US Open. We'll be coming back to you shortly at 2 o'clock UK time for our quick recap of what's happening in the US markets ahead of the US Open. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.